proudly owned by the Vernon family. Casey's is open Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday through Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come check out their new items and delicious entrees. And remember, Casey's can cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Fayette County Magisterial District Judge Daniel Shimshock recognizes the important role our first responders, especially area volunteer firefighters, fill by giving of their time and talent for free in serving our communities. He is proud of the work they do and encourages all area residents to support events like the New Salem Hog Roast to ensure these important public servants have the support they deserve. Magisterial District Judge Daniel Shimshock, a proud sponsor of the WMBS Live broadcast from the 2026 New Salem Hog Roast.
Your local station, WMBS.
Good morning, and welcome to another Saturday edition of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good friend Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown. The Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow. Now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you on a pleasant Saturday morning. A little overcast, maybe a little rain in the forecast, but otherwise a pleasant Saturday morning. I know you'll be taking advantage of the nice day and be out and about here on the weekend, but I hope you'll pause from your travels. Pick up the phone and give us a call. Two-way sports talk, the lifeblood of any sports talk show. Would love to hear from you on a variety of subjects this morning. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call the talk line, 724-438-4593. That number again, 724-438-4593. Let's get to the scoreboard very quickly. The Pirates were rained out last night at PNC Park, so they have a day-night doubleheader on tap today. First game starting at 12:05, and the second game scheduled to get underway around 4:05 this afternoon. Other National League action: Cincinnati Reds shut out the Chicago Cubs 4-0 last night. St. Louis nips Atlanta 2-1. Arizona beats the LA Dodgers 9-3, and Colorado over San Francisco 4-3. Interleague play: Detroit beats up on the Philadelphia Phillies 10-2. Cleveland nips Miami 3-2. New York Yankees down Washington 5-3. Boston Red Sox over the New York Mets 6-2. And Toronto takes San Diego 5-3. In the American League, Baltimore Orioles best Kansas City 5-3. Tampa Bay over Seattle 7-2. Chicago White Sox pound the Athletics 14-1. Texas beats Houston 7-3. And the LA Angels down Minnesota 4-3. So that's a look at our scoreboard. Turning our attention to sports obituaries. And we have 3 to report today. This one from about a week ago. We didn't have a show last week, so I wasn't able to get to it. Long time college football coach Jim Walden, who played quarterback in the Canadian Football League before leading Washington State to a bowl game, spending 9 seasons and spending 9 seasons at Iowa State, died July 2nd. He was 88. Walden was born and raised in Aberdeen, Mississippi, played quarterback in junior college before transferring to Wyoming, where he played for future Nebraska coach Bob Devaney. He led the Cowboys to 2 championships in the Old Skyline Conference. Walden was chosen by Cleveland in the NFL draft and Denver in the AFL draft in 1960, but he chose instead to play in the CFL for the BC Lions because he was offered more money. He also played for Calgary and Edmonton before getting into coaching. Walden returned to Mississippi and spent several years coaching high school football before Devaney hired him at Nebraska, where he was an assistant on the Huskers national championship teams in 1970 and 1971. He also spent time at Miami of Florida before moving to Washington State, where he became the head coach in 1978. He went 44, 52, and 4 over 10 seasons, highlighted by a berth in the Holiday Bowl in 1981 before moving on to Iowa State, where he went 28, 57, and 3. After his coaching career, Walden did color radio commentary for the Arena Football League and Washington State. Jim Walden passing away at age 88. Phil Regan, former Major League pitcher, longtime pitching coach, died Wednesday, July 8th. He was 89 years of age. Regan, whose career in baseball spanned 7 decades, pitched for 4 different teams during his 13-year playing career from 1960 to 1972. He transitioned into coaching in 1974 and became the head coach at Grand Valley State, and he spent the next 47 years either coaching or scouting at various levels. Regan's best season as a pitcher and his only All-Star appearance came with the LA Dodgers in 1966, when he was nicknamed the Vulture by legendary teammate Sandy Koufax because of his penchant for recording wins as a relief pitcher. The right-hander went 14-1 with a 1.62 ERA that season for the nationally champion Dodgers, while leading the league in games pitched with 48 and saves with 21. He was 96-81 with a 3.84 ERA in 551 career games with the Detroit Tigers, Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, and the Dodgers. He worked as a coach or scout for 6 major league organizations and managed the Baltimore Orioles to a 71-73 record and third-place finish in the American League East during a strike-shortened 1985 season. Regan last worked in the majors in 2019 when he served as the New York Mets interim pitching coach. He sued the Mets 4 years later, alleging age discrimination and wrongful termination. The Vulture, Phil Regan, passing away at age 89. And from the world of pro football, former Pittsburgh Steelers, first-round pick and NFL running back Greg Hawthorne has passed away at the age of 69. News of Hawthorne's passing came via a post from his family on Facebook. His cause of death has not yet been revealed. Hawthorne was a first-round pick. He died July the 8th of the Steelers in 1979. Spent 5 seasons with the team. He also appeared in games for the New England Patriots over 3 seasons and Indianapolis Colts in 1 season. Hawthorne was a member of the Steelers' Super Bowl team that defeated the LA Rams. He played his college football at Baylor before entering the NFL. He tallied 1,182 rushing yards, 45 receptions for 575 receiving yards, and 11 total touchdowns, 10 rushing over 4 years with Baylor. Hawthorne was drafted by the Steelers with the number 28 overall pick in 1979, which was a surprise to many after the running back played in just 3 games during his senior campaign at Baylor. The Fort Worth, Texas native appeared in 59 games, 11 starts over 5 seasons with the Steelers, amassed 136 carries, 522 yards, 7 touchdowns, 55 catches for 710 yards, and another 3 scores. His best season came in 1980 when he posted 226 rushing yards, 158 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. Hawthorne went on to play for the Patriots from 1984 to 1986, played 3 different positions, including running back, wide receiver, and tight end. As a member of the Patriots, he posted 1 carry for 5 yards and caught 34 balls for 361 yards and 1 touchdown. Hawthorne also was part of the New England team that lost in Super Bowl 20 against the Chicago Bears. Hawthorne's final season in the NFL spent with the Colts in 1987. He only saw the field for 3 games, recorded 3 catches for 41 yards. He would retire following the 1987 campaign. Former Steeler first-round pick, running back Greg Hawthorne, passing away July 8th at the age of 69. So, that is a look at sports obituaries. Our lineup today, open line sports talk. Just you and me, your chance to get up on that soapbox and be heard. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is on the docket. Pick up the phone, give us a call. We've got one line open. Talk line number 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. In hour number 2, All-Star game is coming up Tuesday. We just passed the halfway point in the baseball season, and I'm going to welcome onto the show USA Today national baseball writer Bob Nightingale. Bob Nightingale will join me for some lively baseball conversation at 11:30 in hour number 2. All right, let's take our first phone call of the morning. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline. Hello. Going once, going twice. He's not there, so that frees up both of our phone lines. And give us a call, 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593 is the number to call if you'd like to get in on the open line sports talk here at the beginning of the show and into hour number 2. Bob Nightingale will join me at approximately 11:30 for some baseball talk in hour number 2 of the show. And I think we have a phone call. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on the sports line.
Morning, George.
Good morning.
George, I'm going to talk about that one game with Atlanta where they put Santana in against Joey Bart. Was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Well, were you upset because they took Jones out, or do you think they just should have used somebody else?
Hey, I was upset because they took Jones out, for one thing. Let him go. Let him go.
That's not going to happen coming off the surgery he did. That's just not going to happen.
Well, they would have done it anyway if he wasn't off surgery. But anyway,
they may have let him go a little bit longer, but
maybe one inning the bullpen would have blown it anyway, right, George?
The most pitches he would have probably thrown is what he's done so far. Although I will say this, he's had like 9 starts now. The most pitches he's thrown is 77. They claim to be building him up. Well, 9 starts, shouldn't he be built up a little bit more than that?
Yeah, right. Hey, but anyway, Santana against Bart. why would you do it? Joey Bart knew what was coming.
Well, that game was actually lost the night before when they pitched Majinski in a mop-up role, and he had no business pitching in that game.
Yeah.
Why
anyway,
are you using him with an 8-run lead?
That's true. They needed him the next game.
Well,
but
he had
still,
been piggybacking off of Jones
I know,
in the past.
I know.
So what do you go and do? You use him for 2 innings when you've got an 8-run lead.
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all.
It was a waste.
And then he's lost for the next day. Yeah.
But still, Joey Bart knew what pitch was coming. He knew. I mean, when you catch a guy all this time, you know what's coming.
Well, he may have had an idea. But no, Santana, he's reached the expiration date. He had got rid of him. He had the great season last year when he was picked off, and when he was picked up and turned things around. But he has reverted back to the mean. He's reverted back to what he was.
Right, with the Dodgers, right?
And I think they got him from the Yankees, I think. Yeah.
That's why they got rid of him. Yeah. But hey, I think the fans are really frustrated to go to the park. Hey, they stayed for the fireworks last night. I'd have left long before that. I'd be so disgusted with that team. You know what I mean?
Well, as I said, that's a team with warts, and I was yelling about the bullpen, and you listened to the show. I've been yelling about the bullpen since spring training. Since spring training, that's when they needed to make those moves.
Yeah, Atlanta has a good bullpen. I was impressed with their bullpen.
Their bullpen's one of the best in baseball.
But still, I mean, they're talking to Don Kelly yesterday before the game never started, but they talked to him, with the pre-recorded thing. But he was saying, then they were saying, why didn't you leave Soto in for another inning? Oh, we can't leave him in for another inning. We'd have to shut him down for a couple games. That's the biggest bull crap I ever heard in my life, George.
Well, he also made a mistake the other day with Santana being brought in when they had 2 lefty hitters coming up, and you've got Mason Montgomery sitting out in the bullpen.
Yeah, I know. How about Yastrzemski? We hit the grand slam, right?
Yep. No, the bullpen is like pouring gasoline on a fire, and they just tried to get some bullpen help. I'm not sure whether this guy's going to help. He's got an ERA over 5. I do like the other guy they picked up, who was a former #1 pick of the White Sox and has a little pop and can play first, shortstop, or third base, and he's going to play shortstop, and I'm glad because I'm tired of seeing Triolo.
Yeah, me too. Hey, how about that Connor Griffin? They said other players have had that injury, and they let them play through it.
Well, I'm not going to question the medical staff on that. He's too valuable a piece. They said because of the big contract, that's why they're going to shut him down for 2 months. Well,
that's the reason why everybody goes to the game to see him.
Well, when you make an investment like that, that's what's going on with Jones too. They invested a lot of money in these pitchers. That's the way baseball is today. It's not the way it used to be.
Do you think that Griffin's going to be a liability where he's going to be injured all the time because he got that big contract?
I don't know.
You never know.
He plays hard, and sometimes that can lead to injury. But that's part of being in baseball. But he can't play with that hand totally immobilized like that. He's got a cast on that hand.
Yeah, but they said other players play through it with a cast. Well, years ago they used to, of course. And they worry about these bullpen pitchers always. Oh, they can't pitch for 2 days after they pitched 1 inning the night before. I can't believe this stuff. I mean, hey, remember Elroy Face?
Welcome to modern baseball. Welcome to modern baseball.
I hate modern baseball. I remember Elroy Face. Every game, if he had to come in, he'd be right there. He walked out there with confidence. He knew that he was going to get the job done.
Now it's a game of specialists. You have a guy for the 6th inning, a guy for the 7th inning, a guy for the 8th inning, and a guy for the 9th inning. That's the way they do it.
I don't like it. I don't like it, George. Hey, George, did you ever meet Elroy Face?
Many times, yes.
Oh, well, I did too one time. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's sitting there signing autographs, smoking a cigarette, but you could see the confidence this man had no matter where he was. He had confidence in himself.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable. Hey, I was going to ask you, George, John Woodruff, do they still have that race in Connersville?
They just had it the other day.
Okay, I didn't know. Hey, where is the John Woodruff oak tree in Connersville from the Olympics?
It's in the end zone, the corner of the end zone at the football stadium.
It's in a quarter of the end zone?
Back behind the end zone in the corner, away from the field there at the football stadium.
Okay. And is it have a marking so I could find it?
Well, it's a huge tree. You're not going to have any trouble finding it.
Won't have any trouble?
No.
I've been wanting to go for years to see this. Is it from the 36 Olympics?
It was a sapling that they gave him, and he brought it and planted it in the end zone.
Right.
Only two were surviving. A lot of the athletes, because of the way they were treated by their German host, particularly some of the black athletes, tossed those Black Forest saplings they were given to the winners overboard on the way back.
George, I have family that lives in Germany, and I told them this story. They couldn't believe that this tree still survives.
The other one that was surviving, but it got some sort of disease, and they had to cut something off the tree and then regrow it, was the one that Jesse Owens had. It is someplace in Cleveland.
Jesse had one too. Yeah. But anyway, that's an amazing story, and thanks for letting me speak my frustrations about the Pirates every week. But anyway.
All right.
Have a good day, George.
Take care. Bye-bye. And let's move on and take, let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline. I got to get a break in here soon, but hello, you're on the Sportsline.
Hi, George. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Not too great. I was down at Pirate game on Thursday, and I wasn't too happy about the result. I couldn't believe that Soto pitches a good inning, and they bring in Santana. I was talking to people down there, and I said, you might as well say something. The game's blown open right now. This was even before he walked the two batters and all. George, this guy got to go. I mean, your other caller, I have to agree with him.
I understand. And listen, I haven't been too confident in Soto either. His ERA's over 10 recently. You know.
But who else? The way
they don't have anybody. That's the problem. It gets back to what I was yelling about in spring training. This should have been addressed in spring training. I didn't like their bullpen from spring training.
Well, George, put it this way. They bring Brzezinski in a mop-up role. What kind of stupidity is that?
That was stupid. Why?
You save him. You have a mop-up role. Hey, you bring in your friggin' losers. Your batting practice pitchers in. Now, I just can't understand how Kelly manages his team. I know he don't got nothing to work in the bullpen. But this team, I'll tell you what, when you put these people in there, that has to put the team at an all-time low. That game, they were 6-5. They were 2-up back at Atlanta. Hey, he gives up that grand slam to Yastrzemski, and that was a butterball right down the plate, George. I was sitting right behind home plate. That was a butterball thrown down there. And this has to leave your team down. They come in their last inning, hey, they're shell-shocked. And I forget how many games they said, I may be wrong, the guy after the ball games, on the Pirates Network, 18 blown saves this year. That could have been 18 more victories in our behalf right there. And right now, George, they ain't going to do nothing about this bullpen.
Well, they did make a minor trade with the White Sox yesterday. And they acquired a left-handed reliever from the White Sox, Brandon Eisert. He's 2-1, but he has an ERA over 5, but he's a fairly decent left-hander. The other guy does interest me. He was a former number 1 pick from 2023, a number 15 pick overall, Jacob Gonzalez, and they're going to plug him in at shortstop while Griffin is on the shelf. And that I like because I'm tired of seeing Jared Triolo.
I mean, they're putting him in the out. I mean, he's a bench player, George. And I'll say one thing about this trade with the White Sox. Look how far they come. They come from breaking the Mets' losing record of 62, and they're a competitive team right now.
Well,
so they're drafting good right now. Maybe this guy may help.
They have drafted well, and that's the reason they made the trade. You're not allowed to trade draft picks in baseball, but you are allowed to trade compensatory picks, and that's what the Pirates did. The 34th pick in the draft is a compensatory pick, and you're allowed to trade that. And they traded that along with a left-hander to the White Sox for those two guys.
Well, George, this bullpen is beyond fixing right now. Hey, I know you. You preached on the podium about the bullpen and the defense and all.
Well, and the other thing I preached about is coming to roost too. They needed to acquire a veteran left-handed starter during spring training or the off-season for the back end of that rotation. And we're starting to see cracks in the rotation now. Mitch Keller, his ERA is well over 7 in his last few starts.
Well, like I say, and he's been at that 3-inning stint he had the other day. I mean, he just keeps on going downhill. I don't know, George. I don't know if anybody could fix him. But in the off season, if this team, I'll just put it this way, George. I predicted him to go 80 and 82 this year, but I predicted the wrong guy was going to have 10 wins this year, and that was Ashcroft. I was saying on Ashcroft, Paul Skeens, Keller, and Chandler, if they could get around that area, that's why I went with them at an 80-82 record this year. But, George, they ain't going nowhere near. As a loyal Pirate fan for years, the Pirates are not going to get the playoffs. They're still a retooling team. They got too many weaknesses right now. And I just hope Skeens can come back to his form right now. Basically, there's a lot of loopholes that got to be fixed yet, George. So, I don't have the big hope that they're going to make the playoffs this year.
Okay, well, thank you for the call. If you get a chance, listen at 11:30 because Bob Nightingale's going to be on, and he's always really good. Yeah.
George, before you let me go, going back to Greg Hawthorne, did you know that the Steelers, that the Raiders really wanted to draft Greg Hawthorne over Marcus Allen, but the owner for the Raiders botched that because they played in the stadium the Raiders were playing in. And you imagine, Hawthorne was, I think he was a bust, but you imagine Marcus Allen being in the Steeler uniform if, the owner didn't, bosh that trade. That would have been something else.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take care.
Okay.
All right,
have a good one, George.
Bye-bye. And we'll be back with more here on the Sports Line right after this quick timeout.
Is it time for your first home or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3943.
Or
Hi, come on in. How are you?
for personal, professional health care you can trust. See Dr. Paul Hardley and nurse practitioners Tara Bozak, Jessica Reckhart, and Stacy Morris, proudly serving our community for over 30 years. Need care today? Walk-ins are always welcome. For your primary care, call Dr. Paul Hartley at 724-437-1109 or visit ppcp.org. Or
Serving number 3944.
For 35 years, Fay Penn Economic Development Council has been committed to its mission of growing Fayette County's economy and helping to bring jobs to the area. Whether you're a startup, existing, or new business in Fayette County, Fay Penn's lending team can work with you to decide if the Fay Penn Loan Fund suits your business's needs. Fay Penn's Loan Fund offers loans starting at $10,000, pending qualifications. Visit faypenn.org to learn more about financing opportunities for your business and to complete a pre-application form.
It's gorgeous outside, which means it's time to get to Bittersweet Cafe of Farmington. From their incredible daily lunch specials featuring farm-to-table fresh ingredients to their refreshing drinks, frozen treats, smoothies, and iced tea, Bittersweet Cafe has something for everyone. Enjoy this beautiful spot nestled in the Laurel Highland Mountains, just a few miles outside of Ohiopyle on Farmington, Ohiopyle Road. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. 724-208-5281. What makes buying your next vehicle for me worthwhile? I make it a very easy 5-step process. You look, you shop, you ask, you decide. And I listen. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai, 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai. I'll make you a good deal.
If you're an athlete, you know the importance of a strong recovery. NovaCare provides several athletic training programs geared toward athletic-related injuries and collaborates with Albert Gallatin, Uniontown, Fraser, California, Jefferson Morgan, Waynesburg, West Green, and Mapletown school districts to help student athletes stay at their best. From coordinating additional specialist care to treating on-site injuries, their experts cater to your personal needs. Specialized services include concussion diagnosis and rehabilitation and treatment for sports-specific injuries. For more information on athletic training at NovaCare, visit novacare.com or contact your local office today.
Hi, this is Pat Narduzzi from the University of Pittsburgh, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline. 56 days away from Pitt football, the start of Pitt football. Training camp just around the corner. We're closing in on the start of the fall college training camps. The college football season not that far off. Let's go back to the phone lines, take another call. Good morning. You're on the Sportsline.
Good morning, George.
Hi.
Hi. I think they should have put all the players on AI and canceled the season. You know, Vernon Law used to pitch 18. He pitched 18 innings, and these guys can't pitch 6 or 8 innings a week.
Well, that is, unfortunately, modern baseball. And I don't like it. I've railed against it. But they invest so much in some of these people. They baby them. Chuck Tanner used to talk about it all the time. And Chuck said the reason people get hurt is their arms aren't built up enough.
Yeah,
I think he had something to that, you know.
Yeah, the old days, them guys would play with fingers hurt a little bit, you know.
Well, they're afraid of, from what the staff said, that it could lead to a bigger injury in his hand, which will require surgery. Right now, they're not doing any surgery on him. That hand is going to be completely immobilized.
Yeah, and it's crazy, I'll tell you. What do you think about keeping the manager for next year?
I would like to see, I'm not a big fan of the GM, and I love Donnie Kelly as a person, but if you get a new GM, and I'm in favor of that, you got to have the new GM pick his own manager, I think.
Yes, that's right. Well, George, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's move on and take another call here this morning on the Sports Line. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, Charles. You missed your leadoff spot.
I missed it. I was on, but I got knocked off and had a hard time getting back in. But the world's still turning, I think, and it's still Saturday.
Well, you're not leadoff now. You're batting cleanup, so you better come through.
Well, okay. I'm going to come through, and what I have to say is not going to be nice, but I have, I'll naturally temper it as much as I can. I do not see any, I told you this before, I do not see any playoffs for the Pirates this year. Naturally, in my heart, George, the hope is always there, because hope doesn't cost you anything. But, George, first of all, they're not capitalizing on their opportunities. They're not seizing the moment. They win a couple games, get over 500, and then lose again. And George, fixing the offense has been wonderful this year. It's absolutely brilliant. But the difference between the Pirates and the other good, solid contenders, in the league, is this. Those other contenders like Milwaukee and St. Louis and the Cubs and so forth, they fix what's wrong with it, what may be wrong with them, but they also maintain what has been good for them. The Pirates went out and fixed their offense, but they failed to look at other problem areas on the team.
Well, you listen to this show every week. I was yelling about the bullpen in spring training.
I know you were. But, George,
I was yelling about the need for a veteran left-handed starter at the back of the rotation in spring training, which could have been very easily had. They didn't do that either.
Yeah, that's what I said. These other contenders, George, they go out and fix what's wrong, but they maintain the parts of their teams that were good. The Pirates won gung-ho on fixing their offense, and they did that. But, baseball is made up of pitching, hitting, and fielding. And like you said, the defense is still not good. But let me ask you this, George. I know you had questions about it in the spring. We've already said that. But did you think the bullpen was going to be this bad?
Not quite this bad, but I didn't think it was good enough for them to be a playoff contender. I thought it was going to give them problems.
Because, George,
well, let's face it, Santana, they picked him up off the junk pile. They got last year out of him when he was really, really good. And then he's reverted back to the mean. He's gone back to what he was.
George, I also side with you. If they don't make the playoffs this year, particularly if they don't have a winning record, Sherrington is
that'll be Sherrington won a World Series with Theo Epstein's players his first year in Boston. Since then, he has had 7 losing seasons as a general manager. This would be his 8th. Yeah. I think that's enough of a track record to say, I think we're going to move on.
No, absolutely. You know and I know, they missed the boat when, Ben Arnold in Milwaukee? Yep. I mean, there's a guy that's operating in a small market, a market smaller than Pittsburgh, and he's got one of the best teams in all of baseball. It's too bad. It's too bad that the Polar Bear got him year before last, and then the Dodgers got him last year. But it just, tell you the truth, George, I don't know who the general manager is going to come in after Sherrington. But I still would like to see them give Stubby Clapp, first base coach of the Cardinals, a shot at managing Pirates. Because remember, when Shelton was hired, Clapp was interviewed.
Right. Yeah.
But of course,
Well,
And
the one that killed me is never even making a phone call to Francona.
Well, George, agreed. We've been down that road before.
I mean, you can't even pick up the phone? I mean, come on.
George, agreed. But you know, we're after the same rainbow's end on that one. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's and Francona wanted to manage the Pirates.
Yeah, he said he was never contacted.
But you can't, George. Did you ever hear this fella? I think it's Dalen or Dayton Moore.
Yeah.
Kansas City Royals organization.
Yeah.
There would be a good man, because I think we've moved away from that a little bit. It's been 10 years, but I think he had a lot to do with the Royals being successful in the mid-teens of this, like 14, 15 and that.
Right. Well, I hope you'll listen in hour number 2, because I know you like good baseball talk. Bob Nightingale is going to join me at 11:30 from USA Today, and he always has some good stuff to say.
Yeah, and then it'll be off to game 1 against the Brewers. But George, no, George.
Well, we're not carrying the first game.
I know, but I'm sorry, George. I can't see it. I just, there's me, the optimist. I said hope is always in your heart, because hope doesn't cost you anything. But I'm also a realist. The Pirates haven't made any consistent positive moves or positive streaks all year to justify that they're going to do anything in the second half. And here's something else that I told people this morning. So Cruz and Horowitz may come back before the end of July. Do you know what kind of shape they're going to be in? Will they be able to pick up?
Oh, who knows? That's depends on what they've been doing during their downtime. You know what I mean?
Griffin won't be back till September.
Exactly.
And here's the point I'll close with, George. The offense has been wonderful, averaging 6 or 7 runs a game or whatever. But you know what happens in the second half? Pitching gets tighter, and don't be surprised if the Pirate offense, as good as it's been, goes down a little bit in the second half. And the starting rotation hasn't shown any signs that they're going to be able to consistently pick it up. And of course, then there's the beloved bullpen, and we don't need to talk anymore about it.
Charles, thank you for the call.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. And we've got to get a break in. We'll be back with more open line conversation here on the Sports Line right after this.
Wind, hail, sudden leaks. When your roof takes a beating, we're here for you at AR Roofing and Remodeling. We're a locally and veteran-owned contractor, available 24/7 for repairs. As an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we get the job done right. Call 724-550-3064 or visit arremodels.com for your free estimate.
Mauser's Tire Center has been serving the region for more than 50 years, offering new, used, and recap tires as well as tire repairs. Mauser's is located on Route 40 West at Seawrights Crossroads, and they're also proud supporters of the annual New Salem Volunteer Fire Department Hog Roast. Need new tires? Call 724-245-2510 and let them get you back on the road. Mauser's Tire Center, your trusted source for new and used tires for more than 5 decades.
Find your place in the sun for fun this summer with First Federal of Greene County. Dreaming of a backyard refresh? Leverage your existing home equity and ask about a home improvement or home construction loan. First Federal will help you dive into any new project. A swimming pool, patio, outdoor kitchen, even a new driveway or garage. Whatever floats your boat. Visit with a First Federal loan officer today or apply online at ffgc.bank. First Federal Savings Loan Association of Greene County. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 458729.
Lee's Plumbing and Excavating of New Salem wants to thank all their clients from the last 37 years for their commitment to quality.
Lee's offers a wide range of services, including residential and commercial plumbing and excavating services. So, if you are looking for quality workmanship and a trusted partner to work on your project, look no further than Lee's Plumbing and Excavating. Call them today at 724-245-2950. Lee's Plumbing and Excavating, a proud sponsor of the WMBS live broadcast from the New Salem VFD Hog Roast.
Chris Parker Jr., what's going on in Autoland this month?
As we celebrate the anniversary of our freedom, Hyundai is celebrating with great deals, great leases, and great fuel efficiency.
I'm listening.
How about $2,000 bonus cash on the fuel-efficient 2026 Elantra SE, or lease it for $189 per month. The 2026 Tucson SE all-wheel drive has 0.99% financing for 60 months, or take advantage of $4,250 lease cash. And the 2026 Santa Fe SE or SEL all-wheel drive has 1.99% financing for 60 months, or $2,750 retail cash. Looking for more fuel efficiency? Check out our hybrids, including Elantra, Santa Fe with third-row seating, and Tucson hybrids with special offers.
Plus Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's Best Warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new Hyundai purchased, and 5-year unlimited mileage roadside assistance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or visit their website at AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland
Laurel
Hyundai.
Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Looking for a great place to eat in Uniontown? Stop by Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue and proudly owned by the Vernon family. Casey's is open Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday through Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come check out their new items and delicious entrees. And remember, Casey's can cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126.
Hi, this is Rob King. You're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And we are moving down the home stretch in hour number one of the Sports Line. We continue in the open line mode with more open line sports talk. And let's go right back to the phone lines this morning. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Good morning, George.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Hey, since this Connor Griffin injury happened, and they mentioned it was his ring finger, I was very curious about, he just got married back in February, and I was checking to see it. Do they allow, Major League Baseball, do they allow players to wear their ring finger, wear the finger on their ring when they're playing the game? And I found out that you can if you're wearing a glove. If you wear a glove covering the ring, you can wear a ring on your ring. You can wear a ring on your ring finger.
I believe that is his glove hand. Right?
It was.
Yeah.
He went diving. He went diving for the ball.
Yeah, he landed.
Cut it in the glove, and his glove went straight into the ground.
Right.
But the thing, what made it curious was none of the other fingers got damaged, and that's the reason why I'm thinking. I haven't found out if he was wearing the ring finger. I did notice after the play happened that he was messing with his he took the glove off and he was messing with his hand, and you could see he had some kind of band around the finger. I don't know if it was a protective band to cover the actual ring because you didn't want to get the ring smudged up or whatever. But I would really be curious to see if he actually was wearing the ring finger and if that helped. Aided in causing the damage to the ligaments, because when you dive your finger in there into the ground, that ring's going to move a little bit, and it could hold on to the ligament.
From what I understand, this is not an injury that's very prevalent in baseball. It happens, but it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is, only they know if that could have aided in. If he was wearing the ring, first of all, and if it could have aided with the injury. But if you think about it, you're talking about protecting an investment. you want to cover all your bases. If you, I guess they didn't have the foresight thinking, this guy dives all over the place. He slides in the home plate. He could get his finger cut somewhere, and that ring could move and pull a ligament or something, you know.
Yeah, I never really thought of that much, but it is covered by the glove. But he made a good defensive play on that ball. Unfortunately, and some people are saying, well, people play through it. I understand what the staff is saying, that if he plays, he could injure himself even further, leading to something else with the hand, which would lead to surgery. And they want to avoid surgery. That's why his hand is being completely mobilized.
Yeah,
they don't want to cut him.
I have no problem with how they're handling him now. The problem I have is, no, it's I guess you can call it a freak injury. If he had the ring finger on, and that helped cause it a freak injury.
I think that's safe to say that. And sometimes, hey, face it, sometimes you just have bad luck.
Hey, one last thing about the Pirates themselves. Although I hate this brand of baseball, I got to be honest with you. I grew up in the '70s. That's the baseball I enjoyed, because it's funny. The last perfect game thrown in baseball was by a former Pirate. Do you know that? He wasn't pitching for the Pirates, but he ended up playing for the Pirates. Domingo Germán from the Yankees. He pitched the perfect game in Oakland. He threw 99 pitches. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. He ended up coming to the Pirates a year later. I guess he had problems with the Yankees and ended up getting rid of him. He ended up pitching for the Pirates, I think, in like a couple games. But he was the last one to throw a perfect game. And I don't know if we're going to ever see many more. The way they pull the pitcher.
A perfect game is one thing. Heck, we don't even see complete games.
It's sickening. It's really sickening.
That's the brand of baseball they play now. And as I said, it's all specialists. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning. That's the way they do it. Listen, I got to move along because I'm right up against the news. Thank you for your call, though. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that puts a capper on our first hour here on the Sports Line. Do stick around because we have another full hour of sports talk coming up after the latest news. We will get right back into the open line mode right after the news. Then some great baseball talk coming up in hour number 2 at 11:30. USA Today national baseball writer Bob Nightingale, who's already in Philadelphia for the All-Star game on Tuesday. Bob Nightingale will join me from Philadelphia at 11:30 in hour number 2. So keep it right here. That wraps up hour number 1 of the Sports Line, brought to you by Tom Vernon and KC Sports Cafe right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday, 12 to 9, Sunday from 12 to 5. Keep it right here. The news is coming up next, and it comes your way from the Fox Radio Network, right here on your local station, 590 AM and 101.1 FM, WMBS, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
The U.S. military on the move. I'm Pam Puso, Fox News. A U.S. fleet led by 2 aircraft carriers is traveling near Iran following days of renewed fighting. Forces are gathering as President Trump issues a deadline for Tehran to publicly renounce attacks in the Strait of Hormuz.
The U.S. maintains Iran violated the MOU when it attacked ships transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. To get confidence that Iran is serious about a peace deal, U.S. officials reportedly want Iran to admit they made a mistake. Per Axios, U.S. officials want Iran to publicly acknowledge the strait is open, commit to stopping attacks on commercial vessels, and recognize that shipping lanes will remain open without tolls. U.S. officials have insisted part of the problem with reaching a long-lasting agreement is that the leadership structure in Iran is fragmented, and there are hardliners who are pushing for aggressive action.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. The warning comes amid reports of a new Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump. Missouri is under a state of emergency after catastrophic flash flooding. Fox Weather's Jane Menard is in Ironton.
As of last night, as operations came to a close,
We have now confirmed 351 people have been rescued here in Reynolds County, all safely. 200 of those rescues were children from Camp Tomsock. Those children, around 2:30 in the morning on Friday, had to be moved up to the dining hall. It's a camp that sits right along the shores of the Black River, and that water came quickly. Now, thankfully, the campers are all safe. They were all, in fact, bused back to the St. Louis metro area as of last night. But in order to get out of the camp, they had to be choppered out.
Rescue efforts continuing. America's listening to Fox News.
History isn't just in textbooks. It's the story of us, the United States. 2026 marks 250 years of America. And throughout the year, Bill Hemmer takes listeners on a journey through the 250 most impactful moments in American history. From the spark of revolution to the battles for freedom, the ideas, inventions, and decisions that changed the world. The 250 most impactful moments in American history podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, everyone. It's Candace Cameron Bure.
Hey, everyone. It's Phil Sims.
It's Dolores Catania.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kix Brooks.
It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Rob Paulson.
I'm Ryan Serhant.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
Everybody's Kevin Nealon.
What's up, guys? It's Nia Sue, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
A police sergeant in Indiana is recovering after being shot while pursuing a stolen vehicle. Sergeant Justin Heflin, who is a 12-year veteran of the force, got into a crash with the suspect yesterday. Officials say that's when the trooper was shot multiple times. The suspect sped off. A short time later, police found the vehicle and discovered the suspect's body in a nearby cornfield. A New Jersey woman is accused of sexually assaulting a child and then posting the video on Snapchat.
25-year-old Victoria Ann Cranmer faces charges including manufacturing and possession of child sexual abuse material. According to court documents, she sexually assaulted a child under the age of 13, recorded the alleged abuse, and then shared at least one video to Snapchat. Investigators uncovered additional videos saved to Snapchat's Memories feature. Cranmer was arrested after investigators identified her through several distinctive tattoos. Her ex-roommate, who'd asked her to move out, discovered the recording on a phone Cranmer left behind. Deborah Valentine, Fox News.
A royal family reunion took place as King Charles and Queen Camilla met with Prince Harry, his wife Meghan, and their children yesterday. But Prince Harry and his family did not stay at Buckingham Palace after being denied royal accommodations. The trip marks the family's first known visit to England since 2022, when they attended the Platinum Jubilee celebration, honoring the late Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne. The generation gap is widening when it comes to live music. Gen Zers are outspending millennials on concerts, even as ticket prices soar. A new survey has revealed that Gen Z spent a little over $100 on music events every month, while millennials spent $94 monthly. Folks who took the survey say the price of tickets is the biggest barrier. Pam Puso, Fox News.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Borge Jr.
It's the perfect time to upgrade your outdoor area with a new fence from All Around Fence Company, conveniently located on Route 40 in Uniontown. All Around Fence has been installing quality residential, commercial, and farm fencing for more than 46 years. Offering residential fencing including chain link, decorative aluminum, steel, and more, All Around Fence is the fence for you. All Around Fence is also your one-stop shop for Neutrina products and carries Weaver equine and livestock supplies and Preferred farm equipment. So, if you need to upgrade an existing fence, add a new gate, or are considering the installation of new farm fencing, visit All Around Fence. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 1. Or give them a call at 724-439-0331. To learn more, visit allaroundfence.com.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Economy Furnace Heating and Air is here to say that 250 years ago, heating and cooling was very different. The rage for heating was a cast iron Franklin stove, and the cupola, a small roof dome with vents, provided innovative cooling. Fast forward to 1976, where 50% of Americans had window air conditioners, with central air making its debut in new builds. Today, at Economy Furnace Heating and Air, we are partnered with Amana and at the forefront of the latest in HVAC technology, offering programmable thermostats, smart home integrations, and eco-friendly equipment. The journey of home comfort is a testament to human ingenuity. As Economy Furnace looks to the future, one thing remains constant: our commitment to provide the best heating and cooling solutions to our community. Call 724-438-4575 to schedule a free estimate for high-efficiency equipment or get on the schedule for a manufacturer-recommended clean and tune-up.
For economy, price, and quality service, call Economy Furnace.
Join WMBS for a special live broadcast from the Fayette County Firefighters Convention at the Perry Township Volunteer Fire Department in Perryopolis on Monday, July 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. Hi, I'm TJ DeStefano. Brian Morozak and Ron Berry will join me as we celebrate our local heroes. Our broadcast is sponsored by the Ely McRory Funeral Home in Fayette City. That's a special live broadcast from the Fayette County Firefighters Convention, Monday, July 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Perry Township Volunteer Fire Department in Perryopolis. Stop by and spin the famous prize wheel and say hello. The Fayette County Firefighters remind you to commit to serve our community with the same compassion and respect that our firefighters display every day. We will see you on Monday, July 13th at the Perry Township Volunteer Fire Department with a live broadcast courtesy of the Ely McRory Funeral Home in Fayette City.
Your local station, WMBS.
Welcome back on board for our number 2 of the Sportsline, being brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9 and Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. George Von Benko with you on this Saturday morning as we move into our second hour, and we continue in the open line mode. Your chance to get up on that soapbox and be heard. Anything and everything pertaining to the world of sports is on the docket. Simply pick up the phone, dial the talk line. That number is 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. And as we forge ahead into our second hour, I am gazing at a wide open board. We had a lively first hour with some great conversation, mostly centering on the Pirates. But if you want to talk Bucko baseball, we can do that. Or if you want to venture into some other areas in the world of sports, that is fine as well. Pick up the phone, give me a call. Love to hear from you. The talk line number once again, 724-438-4593. 724-438-4593. Special guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, the All-Star game coming up Tuesday. We're just past the halfway point in the baseball season. USA Today national baseball writer Bob Nightingale will join me at 11:30. He's already in Philly getting set for the All-Star game on Tuesday night. Bob Nightingale will join me at 11:30. Let's go back to the phone lines. Take our first phone call here in hour number 2. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Good morning, sir.
How
I
are you?
have 2 things I want to go over with you real quick. I don't want to hold you up.
The first one, I just want to congratulate you on the sports banquet, and the book they put out was really something. And I read it, and I never was involved in it, but it must have been a lot of work to do it, and they did a good job, and I want to compliment you on that.
Thank you. That's a particular kudo to me because I'm the one that does the book.
Well, there you go.
And we had a very, very good Hall of Fame golf outing and luncheon. We were sold out, so it was a great affair once again.
Well, make a follow-up on it. You can't miss.
Okay. Anything else?
One other thing. I'm short on names. I don't remember. The outfielder that's been on the disabled list for Pittsburgh.
O'Neill Cruz.
Yeah. I may be wrong. Don't throw anything at me. I think we can trade him right now. I think
you're not going to trade him while he's injured. Nobody's going to take him right now.
Well,
they won't look at him until he comes back and they see how he does.
I think he would be good bait if they did, and maybe they could get something for him.
I understand the premise, but nobody's going to trade for an injured player. That just doesn't happen.
I thought maybe there'd be a little looking for him. I didn't know for sure.
No, they won't trade for an injured player.
Well,
they will wait to see what he's like after he comes back.
Yeah. That's been the second time he's been on a disabled list, too. 1 year before and this one.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I just wanted to check and see. Again, good job on the book, and carry on, okay?
All right. Thank you very much for your call. Take care.
Thank you for your time. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that frees up both of our phone lines. Once again, anything and everything connected with the world of sports is fair game on the docket, so to speak. If you'd like to give us a call, I'd be happy to chat with you. Anything that you want to get into. A lot of Bucko baseball talk today. We can continue with that. Steeler training camp just around the corner, Tuesday, July 28th. Penguins off season, what they did. Major League Baseball draft is today, and the Pirates are drafting at number 5 in this year's draft. They traded the compensatory pick, and that's the only picks you're allowed to trade in baseball. You're not allowed to trade draft picks, but you can trade a compensatory pick. So the White Sox yesterday, and they got Jacob Gonzalez, an infielder, back from the White Sox, and left-handed relief pitcher Brandon Eisert, back from the White Sox for the compensatory 34th pick. So all of that is up for discussion. And I've been asking it every week, very little response to it. World Cup is winding down. Have you watched any of it at all? Have you been interested in any of the World Cup? I've watched a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. I'm just curious. Have you watched it at all? Let's go back to the phone lines. Take another call. Good morning. You're on the Sports Line.
Hey, George, how you been?
I'm fine. How are you?
Okay, so far. Of course, we got 2 games to go this afternoon. We'll see this evening how I feel. But I'd like to talk about the farce that is the pitch count.
Well, I've talked about this ad infinitum before. I really don't know who came up with this.
That's what I'd like to know.
I think some people have traced it back to one of the guys who did some of the surgery on some of the guys years ago, but I haven't been able to confirm that. But, I've always wondered who came up with the arbitrary 100 pitches.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But, the quote-unquote official pitches that are counted, it's a farce, and here's why I think so, George. Different pitchers, in between innings, they throw a different amount of pitches to warm up. Some might only throw 5 or 6. Some will throw 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 warm-up pitches. Okay, down in the bullpen before the game, some pitchers, when they're warming up, they might only throw about 20 pitches to warm up. Maybe not even that many. Some will throw maybe 30, 35 pitches to warm up down in the bullpen before a game. Mm-hmm. And then And then a couple hours before the game, a lot of pitchers, they go out in the outfield and they long throw. Now, some pitchers, they'll only spend maybe 10 minutes out there long throwing. Some will spend maybe up to half an hour long throwing. Now, if you take all of that into consideration and the differences between the different pitchers and how they do and everything like that, it seems to me that the quote-unquote official pitch count is nothing but an arbitrary number. And if that's so, how can that be a true gauge of whether or not a pitcher is spent or not?
Well, I will give you the answer that a baseball person once gave me, because I asked that question to somebody. I said, what about all the extemporaneous stuff that they do? They said they don't look at that as wear and tear on your arm. They consider it a little bit, but what they're looking at is actual pitches in competition and the stress level that goes with that. He said you don't have that stress level when you're warming up. They're looking at pitches that are thrown with a stress level. That's the answer that they give you.
Well, I can see that to a certain extent, but still, if you're throwing, whether it's warm-up pitches between innings or out in the bullpen, you're still throwing, and you're still throwing.
Well, you know, some guys
pretty hard.
Some guys don't throw that hard. As I said, but the answer I was given was pitches under stress. Well,
these analytics, George.
Don't get me started on that.
Well, here, I know, me too. I'm not a believer in it. There's something to do. I mean, a little bit of it, okay. But the thing is this, okay. If you're going by the analytics almost all the time, nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change because you're continuing to do the same thing based on the same results, and those same results are going to continue and become perpetual because you're following those analytics continually.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of analytics. I think it has a place, but it should not be the end all to everything that you do in baseball. Baseball went on for a long time without having this, and now you've got guys who never played the game, these nerds coming in with their computers and everything, and they're telling people what to do in this. It should be used as a tool, something that you can look at and maybe glean something from, but it should not be the end all. And particularly with what is going on today with the Major League Baseball draft, they place such an inordinate amount of importance on the analytics. Analytics cannot tell you about a player's work ethic or his heart or his makeup. It cannot. It cannot gauge that. Human eyes can gauge that, and humans talking to other human beings can find that out. That's where the scouts built baseball, and that was the foundation of baseball. And they've gotten rid of a lot of the great scouts who helped build up baseball for absolute reliance on this, and I think it's wrong.
I think those analytics are they're okay to at least look at it for some consideration.
They should be used. They should be used in consideration. But that's it. It should not be the end all.
These guys, the managers, and let's take the pitching, for instance, because that seems to be the problem with the Pirates. The pitchers and the pitching coach and the bench coach and the manager, and, they spend a lot of time with each other on a daily basis for a great part of the entire year. They know each other. They got a feel for each other and everything like that. I think that needs to be taken into consideration too. When a manager is thinking about making a pitching change, there's nothing wrong with depending a little bit, at least anyway, on your gut instinct, your gut feeling. Can he go another inning? Can he pitch against these next two guys coming up? So forth and so on, instead of looking at an analytical file and saying, oh, no, we got to take him out after only 12 pitches because there's 2 lefties coming up or something like that. Some ridiculous stuff like that.
Well, unfortunately, it has been very pervasive in the game, and it has helped ruin the game for me in a lot of aspects. I don't like it. I don't think it should be discounted. I think there probably are some good things that you can garner from that and glean from that, but it should not be the absolute factor. I mean, I have been told by some baseball people that Dave Roberts, who's the manager of the Dodgers, and they've been very successful, I've been told by people that analytics determine what he does with his pitching staff. He's told who to bring in and who not to, and when to take him out, when to leave him. Can you believe that?
Well, if people in the know are saying that's what's going on, I guess that's what's going on. But, just because it works well for one team doesn't mean it's going to work well for everybody else out there. There's 30 teams, major league teams, I think, or something. And if they're all starting to depend on analytics.
Well, they're spending a fortune on it. They've gotten rid of a lot of the longtime scouts. They brought these people in. The clubs are investing in it. They're spending money on it. The Pirates spend a great deal of money on analytics.
It's hurting the game, George.
I don't disagree with it. I plan to ask Bob Nightingale about that when I have him on. Because,
I'm looking forward to that.
Because there was a group of old-time scouts, the guys who helped build the game, who were jettisoned by their teams, and they filed a lawsuit for age discrimination against Major League Baseball. These are the guys that really helped build the game. And I never heard anything more about what happened with that lawsuit, and I plan to ask Bob about that, and maybe he knows whatever became of that lawsuit that these longtime scouts filed against Major League Baseball. I'd be interested in seeing whatever happened with that.
If a lot of people out there that are interested and don't know exactly maybe what we're talking about as far as analytics go and stuff, watch the movie Moneyball.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where it started, and I mean it's Hollywood, and there's a lot of things, but it just touches on a lot of things compared to what's probably going on now.
Yeah, where it's really turned me off is what they have done, particularly with hitting. You got these launch angles and all this stuff, and the way you're supposed to swing, and it is bastardized hitting to the point where all we see now is you either strike out, you get a hit, or you walk.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have professional hitters anymore. You don't see people like Rod Carew or Wade Boggs or people like that. There are a couple around, but not like it used to be. Everybody is enamored with power and the power numbers and everything, and they've changed their swings, and it has made baseball really tough to watch in some instances.
Yeah, they're getting away from a lot of the basics.
You don't hit and run. You don't all the things that used to be part of baseball. You very rarely see it anymore.
Yeah, hit and run. That's a good example.
Well, and stealing a base, they do steal, but not like they used to.
Or even bunting. Look how many
nobody knows how to bunt.
No, and they're Major League Baseball players. That's like a lot of these guys that get injured, and Cruz was one a couple years ago. Don't even know how to slide, and you're a Major League Baseball player. You get hurt trying to slide.
But analytics has affected batting in particular. It also has affected pitching, and the way they do things there. But it is real. Why do you think the batting averages right now are at the lowest level that they've been ever in Major League Baseball?
Well,
the average batting average is at a low level because of what they're doing with the hitters and what they're making them do with the flight, the swing path, and everything else like that. You know what I mean?
The analytical people will say, "Well, it's our analytics with we're matching up the right pitchers against these hitters and stuff like that." But I don't believe that neither. I love baseball. I always have. always will, I think.
Well,
But
that's why I
things sure
think
have changed, and I've seen the change. I've realized the change as it happened throughout the years.
it's been a big change, and it's affected the way I watch the game. And I was
Yeah.
lucky. I grew up in what I felt was the golden age of baseball, from the 50s, 60s, and 70s onward. But I felt that was the golden age of baseball. You look at the way the game was played back then and the way it's played now, it's like watching two different games.
Well, I'm a few years younger than you, but my formative years was in the 70s. But I will tell you this, I only went to one game at Forbes Field. I was 12 years old, and it was the next to the last day of their last game.
Yeah, they were playing the Cubs in that series.
The Cubs. Yeah. And
I was at the doubleheader on the last day.
Yeah, I can never say I was at the next to the last game because the last day was a doubleheader.
Right.
But that Saturday, I went with my little brother's Cub Scout troop, and we went down there, and I'm sitting there, and I used to, even as a kid, I used to listen to the games all the time and stuff like that. We're sitting in the right field grandstands there, and right down below me, warming up with Roberto Clemente. And I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that feeling.
Right.
Seeing him live for the first time down there in right field, warming up, and then playing throughout the game.
Right.
That was a thrill for me.
That's a great memory. Hey, thank you for the call. Listen in, because I think you'll enjoy the baseball talk coming up with Bob Nightingale.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, George.
Take care. Bye-bye. And we'll be back with Bob Nightingale from USA Today right after this.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or
Hi, come on in. How are you?
for personal, professional health care you can trust, see Dr. Paul Hardley and nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckhart, and Stacy Morris, proudly serving our community for over 30 years. Need care today? Walk-ins are always welcome. For your primary care, call Dr. Paul Hartley at 724-437-1109 or visit ppcp.org. Or
serving number 3,940.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Chris Parker Jr., what's going on at Autoland this month?
As we celebrate the anniversary of our freedom, Hyundai is celebrating with great deals, great leases, and great fuel efficiency.
I'm listening.
How about $2,000 bonus cash on the fuel-efficient 2026 Elantra SE, or lease it for $189 per month? The 2026 Tucson SE all-wheel drive has 0.99% financing for 60 months, or take advantage of $4,250 lease cash. And the 2026 Santa Fe SE or SEL all-wheel drive has 1.99% financing for 60 months, or $2,750 retail cash. Looking for more fuel efficiency? Check out our hybrid, including Elantra, Santa Fe with third-row seating, and Tucson hybrids with special offers.
Plus Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's Best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new Hyundai purchased, and 5-year unlimited mileage roadside assistance. Autoland Hyundai, downtown Uniontown, or visit their website at AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
NovaCare Rehabilitation in Uniontown is accessible for all of your recovery needs. New at NovaCare is pelvic floor physical therapy, a specialized program to treat patients with pelvic floor dysfunction related to bladder, bowel, sexual function, and pregnancy postpartum. These issues can affect both women and men and include urinary frequency, urgency and incontinence, pelvic pain, constipation, IBS, menopause, painful periods, and more. Call 724-437-0556 for an appointment in Uniontown. Personalize your care with NovaCare. In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Are you using credit cards to keep up with high grocery, gasoline, and utility prices? Are you being sued? If yes, call Zebley Law Office today. Before paying unaffordable debts or entering debt management, give us a call at 724-439-9200 and we'll meet with you for free. Maybe a bankruptcy is a cheaper, faster choice to eliminate your debts, keep your home and car, and get a fresh start. Call us today for a free in-person consultation. 724-439-9200.
This is Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Famer Coach Dick LeBeau. You're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the Sportsline on this Saturday morning. All-Star game coming up on Tuesday in Philadelphia. We're just past the halfway point of the baseball season, and it's my pleasure to welcome in one of my favorite guests, USA Today national baseball writer Bob Nightingale. Bob, good morning to you. I understand you're in Philly. You're getting set for the All-Star game coming up. It's been a pretty interesting first half of the season, and I'm not quite sure what to make of the American League. We've only got a few teams that have winning records. It almost seems like everybody's in contention in the American League.
Yeah, but we got really, but only two teams out of the race. Only six overall who are more than 6 games out of out of a wild card spot. So yeah, been a lot of mediocrity in the game this year. Outside the Dodgers.
What that does though is I'm having a hard time trying to determine who's going to be buyers and sellers at the trade deadline. I think a lot of teams are still up in the air about that.
Yeah, I agree. We won't know for a few more weeks for sure. And I think you got the San Francisco Giants will sell, the Rockies will sell, the Angels maybe a little bit, the Mets. That's about it. Everybody else is kind of waiting to see, but no one else has said they're going to be a seller at all.
What about the Mets? You brought them up, and their fan base has got to be just saying, what is going on? Because they spent a lot of money during the offseason.
Yeah, complete disaster there. And they, we'll see what the future is. We'll see if they trade Francisco Lindor and, what direction they want to go. They certainly have to have a different winner because that team doesn't even look close to contending. I mean, they've gone backwards for the last few years.
Locally, the Pirates are sitting at 500. And they've been around that for most of the season. They're still within striking distance of a wild card spot, although they have to climb over about 4 or 5 teams. I think the division may be out of reach. They're about almost 10.5, 11 games behind the Brewers, and they've got some teams in front of them. They did what they wanted to do. They improved the offense greatly, but it's strange that pitching staff that they were banking on, those young pitchers, seems to have taken a little bit of a step backwards, and the bullpen has been like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah, it's they need some bullpen help. Got made a little move yesterday with the Chicago White Sox turning away their competitive balance pick, which is number 34 overall. But yeah, their offense has been great. I think it's ranked 3rd in baseball. They've already hit more home runs than did all last year. Once get schemes going in the second half and stuff, you never know. Yeah, they're not going to win the Central by any means, but with that wild card race wide open, I think by making that trade and trading away a draft pick, it shows how bad they want to get in.
Well, it does, and somebody was confused about that, and I said, no, baseball, you're allowed to trade those compensatory picks. They're not allowed to trade an actual draft pick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
Yeah, So you just can't trade that first round. Maybe one day that will change, but that's still the rule.
Well, football allows you to. What do you think about that? Do you think they should be allowed to trade draft picks?
I do. I think we make it more fun. Maybe they just don't want to do a thing like where a team just trades away their draft picks and then they ruins it for the next owner. And you just kind of it helps. It gives teams hope without someone just completely messing it up, and then all of a sudden a team is down for the next decade.
You're in Philadelphia. What a turnaround the Phillies have had, because they have been one of the best teams in baseball, climbed back into it. I didn't take a look at the standings today. I think they're about 3 games behind the Braves. At one point, they were way down in the standings, but they have climbed back into things.
Yeah, they finally took off. The schedule benefited them. They had a real tough schedule to start with. The guys started performing a lot better. Particularly Trey Turner and Bryce Harper. Obviously, Marsh has been doing it all year, and now they're even trying to chase down Atlanta. So this is the team I think everybody expected. They still need to go get a right-handed hitting outfielder somewhere.
And I think they probably will be in the market, and everybody is going to be looking for it. They're probably going to be in the market for relief pitching too, but that's going to be a hot commodity, I think, at the deadline.
Yeah, everybody's looking for the back-end relievers, so we'll see what happens. But it's a situation, where if you really want to get to the World Series, you're going to need a lights-out bullpen. You get to see a World Series team get in whose bullpen wasn't, on fire in October.
That's one of the changes, and maybe I sound like an old curmudgeon. Baseball has changed a lot from the golden era when I was growing up watching it, and one of the biggest changes that has happened is what they've done with the use of the bullpen. You now have specialists. You got a 6th inning guy, a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy, and a 9th inning guy. You don't see as many complete games. They're very careful about pitch counts. Maybe the question that somebody asked me earlier in the show: who came up with the arbitrary number of 100 for a cutoff point for the number of pitches to be thrown?
No, I think just because it's a round number. I mean, just kind of came up a few years ago. So I don't know, why that is. I love the fact the other day where John Schneider of the Blue Jays, let Dylan Cease, go out there. He's already over a career high 115 pitches. So I don't know why, 100. I mean, it's kind of silly. I mean, before it's like, guys were throwing 130, 140, 150 pitches, and they weren't getting hurt. Now guys are getting babied, and they're getting hurt right and left.
Well, that echoes something that the late, great Chuck Tanner used to tell me all the time. He says, if you don't build their arms up and they don't throw enough, they're going to get hurt. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just these guys don't develop in the minor leagues. They're only throwing, 60, 70, 80 pitches in the minor leagues and not going deep. And, so I think John Smoltz, say what's the most unbreakable record in baseball history? I threw out the usual stuff. He says, no, Greg Maddux, he threw 27 complete games in the minor leagues before he got called up.
I agree with
him. That stuff
him.
never happens anymore.
I agree with him. You're not going to see that happen again.
No.
That has gone the way of the dodo bird. Very rarely do we see complete games. How about the other day, the Pirates' 6-inning perfect game, and they take Jared Jones out of the game? That would never happen in the old days.
No, it's happened now, twice in 4 days.
Yes.
I think for 100 years, I saw the stat where it never happened once. Now it's happened all the time. So, that would never happen, even though he's come back from injury. You're absolutely right.
Baseball is a game that I love, and somebody just called in and they brought up a bugaboo with me. Analytics. I think analytics should be used as a tool. You can probably glean a lot of stuff from it, but I don't think it should be the end all. Maybe that's just the old school in me speaking, Bob.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it should be, evaluating your eyes, watching your eyes. And if you want, those analytic tools to, supplement your thinking or reinforce or even contrary your thinking, is there for you, but not just rely on it. I know, different GMs and stuff in the past and managers said, we've always used analytics, but we call it math. You always, wrote down stats and things like that, but you didn't let it, dictate all your thinking.
But it is really taken over in a lot of respects, and teams are spending a lot of money on it, aren't they?
A lot of money. I think there's some teams like the Mets who have 54, 55 people in the analytic department. It's unbelievable.
That many? Wow.
That's crazy.
But in any case, this came up today on the show, and it came up in a conversation I had with Matt Holliday's father, Tom Holliday, whose brother Dave was a longtime scout for the Rockies and the Braves and the Phillies, and has since retired. But we were talking about a lot of the people who built baseball, the scouts, the guys who beat the bushes and found the talent. And this is appropriate because today is the Major League Baseball draft. A lot of those old-time people have lost their jobs. They've been cut loose by the teams, and they think it's wrong. And they get back to what I said about analytics. It's good to use as a tool, but it shouldn't be the end-all. Analytics can't judge a player's worth, his determination, his work ethic, his heart, and a lot of other things can't be judged by analytics. It's the human eye that judges it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have conversations with scouts all the time, and particularly Dave Holliday, one of my all-time favorites. Great guy. I always forget what his first name is because everybody calls him Doc.
Right, Doc Holliday.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, you can't just let analytics, do things. There are some teams like the Cubs that don't even have a pro scouting department anymore. Living in Phoenix, it's like everybody comes out to scout their Little League.
How about the Pirates coming into this draft? They don't have a scouting director.
Yeah, that's wild. That might be a first.
When I heard that, because I hadn't realized that, I heard it the other day, and I said, they never replaced that guy? They didn't. They never replaced their scouting director.
Yeah, and it is nuts. Yeah.
But in any case, it brings me to a question I've been wondering about for some time, and Dave didn't know the answer, although he was going to try and find out for me. Many of the old-time scouts who a couple of years ago were jettisoned by these teams filed a lawsuit claiming age discrimination against Major League Baseball and some other things. I never heard anything more about that lawsuit. Have you ever heard what happened with that lawsuit?
No, I believe it's still going on. I know that one lawsuit with the Dodgers years ago, that was either settled or some guys actually got their job back. So that was done years ago. But this other big class action lawsuit, I think it's still going on. I haven't heard a word about that.
I haven't either. But Dave said he was going to try, because he knew some of the guys that were part of the class action lawsuit. So he was going to ask it. But you're right. One of my things that I cherished, I was very good friends with the late, great Chuck Tanner. And Chuck, in his later years, was a scout. And when I'd have dinner with him at the ballpark, the scouts would all flock to Tanner's table, sort of like the Oracle. And I got to know all of these scouts. I learned so much about baseball by sitting at that table and listening to these guys, Bob. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, those are the best.
Guys like Bobby Wine and Bill Singer and Terry Kennedy and Jim Fregosi. And it was just like a complete education. It was, you know.
Oh yeah, when I saw Jim Fregosi in a press room or dining room, whatever, I stopped whatever I doing and sit, plop myself down at that table. There was nobody more engaging or entertaining and knowledgeable than Fregosi and that group of guys you're talking about. Everywhere you saw, Jim Fregosi, you would see Billy Shear.
Billy Shear, one of my favorites. Bruce Keeson, the former Pirate who's passed away.
Yeah.
Hank Allen, guys like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was amazing how they would flock to Tanner's table.
Yes. Yeah. Those are the days, and it's rare to even see scouts anymore.
No, you used to see them all the time, but you don't see them that much anymore because a lot of them have lost their jobs. So as we come to this point, do you think it's going to be a very active trade deadline after this? And you've got a lot of teams that are still in contention, but there's a couple of teams that, as you pointed out, are sort of the cream of the crop of everybody else. Who are those teams in your mind?
Yeah, you wonder who how active the trade deadline would be because like we talked about, so many teams are in the race or hovering around it. I would think that teams, the teams that need to do something. I think the Milwaukee Brewers have got to go get another starter with Jacob Mizrachi. Particularly with Brandon Woodruff, going down. The Yankees need to find a catcher somewhere. The Phillies need a right-handed hitting outfielder. But I think a lot of teams that we thought we were going to sell won't. I mean, Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, they were left for dead, and all of a sudden they're very much alive again.
Yeah, they lost 21-25, and now they got the best record in the American League, or second best record in the American League since June 1st. It's unbelievable.
And very quietly,
it's a game and a half out.
Yeah, very quietly, I wanted to ask you about another team because they don't seem to get much publicity. They're sort of flying under the radar. The Marlins.
Yeah, unbelievable. They're not trading Sandy Alcantara now. They like to send him to an extension. But yeah, they're right now the playoffs started. They're in there. And they're tied with the Phillies for the second best record in the wild card spot. So, I mean, who knows? They could actually be hosting a playoff series. So, yeah, they've been fascinating to see what they have done.
And it's amazing how they've done it because they really have turned things around. They were one of those teams that got rid of a lot of people, and while we're speaking in that vein, how about the White Sox?
Yeah, I thought they'd be, being good or being a serious contender in 2 years. And when they got to the start, I thought, okay, in 1 year. But yeah, I mean, here they are still hanging around, tied for first with Cleveland. Just got Murakami back after, being out for 35 games. So, it's remarkable. I'd be interested to see what they do. I mean, you can't trade, prospects at the deadline because they just got those prospects and, we're so, went through the growing pains of gathering those picks. So, but I do think they'll take on big contracts, and as long as it doesn't cost them high prospects, maybe just middle guys.
Before I let you go, Bob Nightingale, you are in Philly for the All-Star game. It used to be, as a youngster, the highlight of my summer. I looked forward to it, and it was so much different then because really, as a National League guy, since I had a National League team, it was the time you got to see the American Leaguers. That has changed because of interleague play and everything, but that's when you got to see the people from the other league. But I do notice the game has changed. It doesn't have the edge that it used to have. I can remember guys that I talked to from the National League saying they wanted to beat the American League more than anything in the world. That part of it has changed, and money has changed it. Are you still as caught up with the All-Star game as you used to be?
No, it's not. It's not nearly the same. I mean, now it's just an exhibition. You don't have former players coming in and giving pep talks and saying how important the wins are, that sort of thing. So you got guys backing out of games too. So no, it's not not even close to being the same. I mean, it's still, I think, the best all-star of the four major sports, but it's not, you're not going to see, Pete Rose, bowling over, Ray Fosse at the home plate.
And people forget that Fosse had dinner at Rose's house the night before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's like those old Bob Gibson stories, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just don't. Yeah, you don't see that anymore. It's nothing close.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a strictly exhibition.
Right. Listen, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for coming on. We've still got a lot of baseball to be played, and looking forward to watching the All-Star game. And not feeling about it the same way I used to, but I'm going to watch it. And I thank you for coming on with me today. I always enjoy it. You take care.
Sure, my pleasure as always. All right, take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bob Nightingale from USA Today here on the Sportsline. We'll wrap things up on the show right after this.
The music stopped when I started having knee pain.
For gospel singer Andrea Michaud, knee pain was keeping her from doing what she loves. That's when she turned to orthopedic surgeon Jason Kinney, MD, and the team at WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital.
I am singing his praises.
Our patients benefit from large health system expertise and community hospital comfort. Learn more at wvumedicine.org/Uniontown.
It's back again. If you haven't saved the dates yet, clear your calendar for August 8th and 9th, because that's when the incredible Italian Heritage Festival returns to downtown Uniontown. Join us at Story Square on Main Street for an unforgettable weekend. Bring your friends and family to enjoy a wide assortment of delicious food, drinks, and a full lineup of free entertainment, including live music and kids' activities. And remember, you don't need to be Italian to have a great time. That's the Italian Heritage Festival, August 8th and 9th in downtown Uniontown. For scheduling updates, vendor lists, and sponsor spotlights, follow the Sons of Italy of Uniontown and WMBS on Facebook. We can't wait to see you there.
Bright Stripe, Bay County's premier asphalt seal coating professionals. Locally owned by Matt and Lexi George. Bright Stripe specializes in residential and commercial asphalt seal coating, also excelling in line striping and layouts, thermoplastic, and infrared asphalt repair. Bright Stripe has succeeded due to their commitment to quality work for 30 years. Bright Stripe, 724-437-6090, or visit bright-stripe.com. BRITE-stripe.com.
Yeah, they're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Warm weather means more outdoor living. Are you planning on adding a new deck this summer? Well, Home Warehouse, a Best in Fayette winner for home improvements and windows, is the place to go for all your home exterior needs. Home Warehouse has a great selection of easy-to-maintain composite decking and vinyl railing to add value to your home and increase outdoor living space. That, as well as siding, shutters, windows, doors, roofing shingles, metal and rubber roofing, soffit, fascia, and flooring, too. So for selection, great prices, and hometown service, shop local. See Sandy and Donnie at Home Warehouse on Connellsville Street in Uniontown. Shop Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Saturday, 8 to noon.
They're the people I trust. It's the place I go. Home, warehouse, where a house becomes a home.
Is it time for your first home? Or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
Looking for a great place to eat in Uniontown? Stop by Casey's Sports Cafe, located at 243 South Mount Vernon Avenue and proudly owned by the Vernon family. Casey's is open Monday and Friday from 7 to 3, Tuesday through Thursday 7 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday 7 to 2. Come check out their new items and delicious entrees. And remember, Casey's can cater your next event. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Casey's is the place to eat. Call 724-550-4126.
broadcaster Phil Bork, and you're listening to the Sportsline with George Von Benko on WMBS.
And welcome back to the show. Hope you enjoyed the baseball talk with USA Today national baseball writer Bob Nightingale. Always very entertaining, very informative, and I enjoyed the conversation. I hope you folks did as well. That puts a capper on this edition of the show. We had some great conversation today. I thank you folks for your participation and your phone calls as well. We've got a big day coming up here on WMBS. A couple of remotes, one from Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon starting at noon. Later on today from the New Salem Hog Roast starting at about 2 o'clock. So that's all on tap today here on your local station, WMBS. And I will be back at you same time, same place, barring some unforeseen happenings next week here on the Sports Line. I hope you'll tune back in. Steeler training camp is just around the corner. We'll be doing interviews. I'll be going up to training camp starting here in July, and I'll be doing interviews from camp, so I'll be running those on the show. Thank goodness I don't have to go to the South Side because training camp will be at St. Vincent. Much easier to get there than it will be getting to the South Side when they shut down the Parkway starting today, the Parkway East. What a headache that is going to be. So, George Von Benko bidding you and yours a very, very pleasant good afternoon. I mentioned the hog roast coming up later, where we're going to be carrying that. Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. I'm not sure, Bill, are we carrying the second Bucko game today? We are. We're carrying the second Bucko game today, which I believe is a 4:05 start at PNC Park, the day-night doubleheader, the Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers. And that pitching matchup today, Braxton Ashcraft going for the Bucks, supposedly in Game 1 against right-hander Brandon Strout. And at the 4:05 game, Bubba Chandler, right-hander for the Pirates, and Shane Drohan, a left-hander for the Brewers. That is the pitching matchup for the Brewers and your Buccos today down at PNC Park for the day-night doubleheader. So that puts a capper on this edition of the Sports Line, brought to you this morning by my good buddy Tom Vernon and Casey Sports Cafe, located right here on South Mount Vernon Avenue in Uniontown, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville, and by Bogies at Duck Hollow, now under new management, serving lunches and dinners Monday through Saturday from 12 to 9, Sunday from 12 to 5. Come on out, enjoy fine dining and a round of golf. Phone 724-439-2150, located at 374 Duck Hollow Road in Uniontown. News is next from the Fox Radio Network.